Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I hope this finds you well, whether times it finds you in the evening, the morning, middle of the day, wherever you're at. Thank you for watching. Okay, so let me catch you up on what's going on. I've been having the busiest and most joyful time lately. Whew. Let's see, I had 3 nieces and a nephew that graduated. And my darling niece that lives in a different state just sent her a card, and she was so sweet, sent me the nicest thank you. So proud of her. She graduated cum laude. I have another niece that graduated, and she graduated with 2 degrees. She was in a accelerated college high school. So she graduated with her high school degree and her associate's degree. And she's getting in, she's been accepted to a Texas State College, which is just awesome. I mean, so much work, so much work. And she's the daughter of my sister that passed away in November. So quite a challenge, but I'm so proud of her. And then I have my nephew, best friend, you know, they're my niece. I consider them my nephew and my nieces too. And he graduated and he got a special STEMI NASA science engineering medal, which he's also getting into college. So just, you know, it's a time to celebrate new lives that are going into achieved a goal and now are going on to their adult lives, which is just amazing. Just being that young and the world's open to them. Of course, it's expensive, right? So I went to the Dave Matthews concert, as I said in my last video. That was awesome. Had the 2 graduations on Thursday. Because I'm on the clinical trial, I had to you know, show up for pictures and view the graduations on YouTube or the stream that the schools had, which is sad, but you know, you can get some good snapshots that way. And went with my husband the Friday after, so not last Friday, but the Friday before. One of my high school, you know, the ones I loved when I was younger, the Sisters of Mercy. They rarely tour, but they toured, and my husband went with me. So proud of my husband. I've taken him to punk shows, I've taken him to ska shows, I've taken him to rock shows, I've gone with him to his rock shows, and he seems to be okay with whatever culture, the subculture that's around. He's really good with it. So that was really, really fun. It's kind of funny, some of the people I was talking to at the concert are going to Duran, which that's where I will be this next Friday. I'm not as excited about it. You know, 80s Duran was like, you know, I mean, Wild Boys, Rio, The Reflex, all those songs. I just kind of found my, you know, went into punk and post-punk and the new wave and, you know, eventually, you know, college radio and, you know, last Saturday I saw some new post-punk and shoegaze music. I like different genres. So I know that Duran has inspired so many people, and people are excited to see him. Our best friend-in-law, my husband's best friend's wife, his best friend passed away in September of 2020. And, you know, she's my daughter's aunt, and, you know, she's a dear friend. She's coming to town to see Duran. So for her birthday, we got her Duran tickets. So I'm just like going on a concert tour thing, right? You know, there's something about live music, especially if you've had like a lot of stress. I just love that vibration. It just kind of shakes your soul, you know, it's awesome. So Sisters of Mercy were awesome, got good parking. I found out that, I guess when you have the disability placard, each local, state, city, you have to go get your doctor to write the form for that area. But supposedly you're not supposed to pay for parking. Though those, you know, I know from some concert venues, you have to get there really early because there's only so much disability parking. like for the Duran Duran show, I wasn't going to pay $65 for parking. I don't have $65 to pay for parking. So we're going to leave early and get there and park in a disability. It just makes it easier. So that's one thing I have to do. Since I'm still mobile with a AFO brace and a cane, it's just I don't want to push my body too much. So we were able to park really well for both the Dave Matthews concert and the Sisters of Mercy. I am very glad about that. So on my clinical trial, and that's awesome. I just feel so lucky. The Houston Methodist Neurological Research Institute is a wonderful, wonderful, amazing medical institution. So I am in a T-Reg investigational drug trial. It's still phase 1. Koya Therapeutics is working on they'll start phase 2. I have no idea if I'll be included in phase 2, but I have 3 more, well, now I've completed a month, so I have 2 more months on the drugs, and they have stopped my progression. They reduced the inflammation, so I'm the only genetic person in this study. The others are sporadic, so it's helped all of us. And Texas Monthly, which is a magazine in Texas, will have information, I think, in their next issue about this drug trial, and a lady whose husband works with a board in Dallas, an energy board, that donated money. And a lot, they say ALS is not as much of a rare disease as it is an underfunded disease. So please, if it's in your heart, if you could help support the Houston Methodist Research Institute to help myself and other people. I didn't start this clinical trial to help me. I decided to get into the clinical trials because C9orf is, 60% of 10 to 12% of ALS cases that are genetic. So it's a smaller number out of the 6,000 estimated people diagnosed every year in the United States for ALS. So it's a lower number. So about 300 of us have the genetic form that I have. And there is real hope for both sporadic and for genetic ALS. We're getting to the point where we're getting right to where the paradigm makes a shift to where it's a treatable disease. So here's hope that this study gets more people in it. It gets the funding, because a lot of it is about funding. I mean, this one has shown 4 people have had their progression stop. I mean, what? I know it's hard and it's desperate for people that have a terminal disease to get on a medication. I know they've gotten calls, but I would really hope that it would be able to be in a platform on multiple sites, like the Healy platform, for multiple people to have it and see how this replicates out in larger populations. So I'm on the drug study, and you've got the nodules on my belly. I mean, it kind of gives you little, it gives me little nodules. My spasticity has lessened, though, of course, it gives me a little bit more oomph of energy. And I have a problem with overexerting. It's kind of like one of those things, yes, I have ALS, and if I sit in a chair, you can't tell. Being able to do things, but having the endurance that's lost has been difficult. I feel my spasticity kind of gives me a little more strength, like my left foot is a little stronger, but it's really spastic. It's not as bad as the painful, horrible ones I was having episodes, but I decided to paint cabinets. I had this all-in-one paint, Facebook got me. So they're a lovely Stonehenge, kind of a grayish color. I'm going to do the bottom cabinets as they come in slowly. I'm not going to do the whole thing over because I used to paint a lot, retired nurse, but I also loved art. I just thought it would make more of a difference to help people. And so I still have the art critic that's, I have a mean art critic. So when I paint and I'm sloppier, it's terrible. I have to do so many corrections because it's like, try to do a straight line. That's hard. It's hard to paint a straight line now which frustrates me, but I have to understand that I'm lucky even to be doing what I'm doing. So I got that done and, sanded and repainted and sanded and repainted. And not that I can sand, like I used to, like, I had to sand some areas of the lower part of the kitchen because we had a water leak, and unfortunately my insurance company paid for the remediation where they tear everything out, but what they gave was not enough to put everything back in, inflation. So trying to do the little things I can with help, I didn't float the drywall, or put the insulation in, but I did put the second thing of plaster on and sanded as much as the areas you would see. I don't think I need to correct the ones that have cabinets going to be into them. Let it be ugly. I'm just proud I did it. So did that, and then July 2nd was Lou Gehrig's disease, and the MBLA celebrates Lou Gehrig's disease. And Lou Gehrig was an amazing person that was diagnosed with ALS. They do call it Lou Gehrig's disease, and I actually have Lou Gehrig's disease as a diagnosis. And I am ALS, as well as ALS Association gifted tickets, and I was able to take my family. I had, in my local ALS Association group, there was a lady that was saying her husband has PLS, which is a sister disease to ALS. It's estimated per physician I asked that 50% of people that have PLS will go on to develop ALS. Similar to what I have, majority now. Now I do have more lower neuron symptoms now, but initially I had more upper motor neuron deficits. So I have predominantly upper neuron, motor neuron ALS, and I'm a slower progressor. So with my genetic type, I do have ALS. I do see the slow changes. It's like I may have some strength, but it's not what it was. It's still there, but if I do something like I can do it, I pay for it in days that I can't do anything. I've been waking up with my neck hurting and my hands hurting and real stiff. It's like my shoulders, I get my biceps, and they're not as bad as they were before I was on the medicine, the clinical trial, but that was bad. But I get biceps, and that's new on my right side. I was mostly left-sided weakness. So I know when I get the spasticity, it's just the honking that the weakness and the atrophy will start. I just wish there was a way, like where my shoulder blades are and that center part of your back and my neck, oh my God. It just gets so stiff, and it's just like you want to pop it. You can't. Yeah, I'm not going to a chiropractor. It's like I just can't. My muscles won't relax, and I don't want to have some kind of decapitation or something happen if they do it too rough. But I'm thinking about, if I get blessed with the money to do it, try to go to an acupuncturist and see if that doesn't help. Willing to try anything. I have to see if my insurance covers it. Doubtful, but hey, might as well ask, right? So I did that, and then I was like, ouch. It was pretty painful. It's like when I lose my right arm, it makes it hard because I'll overdo it and then I can't lift my arms. Like right now, this is as far as I can lift my arms up, which is still good. I can lift my arms, right? But so I did that and got it done. And then the next day, my oldest daughter came in from Dallas, and my son-in-law and his father, his parents are just, they live in the next neighborhood over. Really nice people. So his father, Cliff, he has early onset Alzheimer's disease, but he's doing pretty well. He's pretty stable right now. Just a little bit short-term forgetful. But he was, wanted to make sure we were Ubering because they were driving in from Dallas. And we got there and we got a jersey, I can't remember. Guerrera was the person on the back of it. if I'm right, never mind. You know, I didn't look. I put it on because I had my I Am ALS shirt on. I wish I'd been able to meet everybody, you know, with the meetup, but things were a little bit delayed. Traffic in Houston is terrible. But the game was good. They had a video that at the beginning with one of the ladies that's in the same trial I'm in. Unfortunately, it was so loud there, and I have hearing deficits, that I didn't get to hear her. I wish I would. I haven't actually met the other people in the trial right now. You know, with COVID, we were all separate, you know. So now, you know, I know there's one gentleman. I know one gentleman that's in it, and you know, I'd like to meet her and thank her, you know, and thank her husband for getting the resources to help fund this as part of the study. But just awesome that people will donate money to diseases and to help the kindness of doing that. I have so much gratitude, so much of gratitude. But it was really neat. So they had a thing about Lou Gehrig. And remember when I mentioned the lady on the ALS Association site? Well, I told her that I had known that I Am ALS had tickets, and because her husband had PLS, I Am ALS is not as, she was told she wasn't, couldn't get help from them. She told me, which I'm not sure. I haven't talked to that organization about that. I know the ALS Association does. So I felt kind of bad. I mean, you know, she's taking care of her husband. He's wheelchair bound now. He's losing his speech. Speech therapy takes care of him. He goes in and does, I guess, I'm not sure if it's the multidisciplinary clinic he goes to, but they're just really nice. His son is very much into baseball, and he was into baseball. She made a video on TikTok with him, and it was just very moving. And since he's a minor, I don't want to go into it too much. But if you look up PLS on TikTok, you may run into his videos. His mom does it though. But I, you know, found out, you know, when I had tickets that I might be able to share some, that I found out that she had gotten tickets. So I had been worried. I showed my ALS clinic team, research team, the video, and guess what? We were sitting, I sat right next to, my seat was right next to that little boy. And his father's sister was there and some of his family. And I sent pictures to his mom, friended her on Facebook. And during the game, I kept snapping pictures because I know what it's like to be stuck home with somebody that's dependent, and you know, you can't get out and do things. I would, if I, as a mother, I would want to know and see. But the time with my daughter and my son-in-law and his father, you know, I talked with Cliff. We walked around trying to find the meetup. But it was interesting, you know, he has dementia, and he was mentioning that his wife mentions that he, you know, asks a lot of questions. He said that my daughter Summer and her husband Justin said the same thing, that he'd ask him repeated questions. And I asked him how he felt about that, and he's like, well, I don't notice. Isn't that the perfect thing for Alzheimer's? Not dementia. He says it's not dementia, it's Alzheimer's. Semantics. But he was really sweet, very nice to spend time with. The kids got there, though they got there too late for the jerseys. Of course, I had to donate my jersey to my daughter. But the game was really good. Dr. Appel was announced after they had a very moving talk about, I didn't realize that I go to the first formed ALS clinic in the country. And it has been such a blessing to my life to go to an ALS clinic. It was so difficult to go to different doctors around and that until I was accepted into and referred to and accepted into an ALS clinic. So Dr. Appel presented a bat to Dr. Green, and just seeing them, it was nice. The game, just seeing my son-in-law light up. I mean, he was so happy. The time with his father, you know, time with my daughter, and all the pictures we took. They're precious pictures. That's been a goal of mine, is to create the memories. And that was such a good night. It really was. The Astros got 2 home runs. They beat the LA Angels. There were fireworks afterwards. I mean, just wonderful. My ALS clinic team came and waved hi. Of course, they were all going to the Hall of Fame at that point. Looks like I'm alone. It's funny. So I have a nephew, or 2 nephews and a niece in from North Dakota. So, and my oldest nephew's girlfriend came. So I met them on Saturday night, because that was Friday night. The game was great. Got home. Everyone was just riding high. Saturday daytime was my nephew, my best friend's nephew, his graduation party, which was nice. Spent time with my granddaughter, and she's in that 2-stage. It's really, really cute. You know, it's the kind of fits. It's like, oh, that kind of fits, and she like leans into her fit. It's like, okay, I don't want to dislocate your shoulder or your elbow. I mean, kids that do that, you got to be careful with little ones. It was kind of funny. She did that at one point. My youngest daughter's like, don't do that to Oma, no. It's like, she's 2. She doesn't realize I have ALS, Emma. But that was absolutely adorable. It was fun, you know, just seeing, she's so cute, and seeing her just kind of develop in her little ages. And of course the graduate and all the family. It was really nice. Took all the pictures I could. And then that evening I went back, changed, and went to, it's a British band and one from New York. Ben Stellar, which, awesome band, very tight, great guitarist and drummer. And I guess it's shoegaze music. And then a band that's kind of post-punk from London called Shame. Good band. I mean, the lead singer is something else, and the band is decent. And my nephew, just seeing him sing along. But I tell you, so I'm Gen X, right? And, you know, I went to punk shows as a kid. I have a bent tooth from being in the pit. You know, I earned my cred. I earned the thing. I noticed at punk shows, my generation are given respect. I've had people that had brightly colored mohawks, this, that. If they bump you when they're in the pit, they'll say, I'm sorry. I don't know what this kind of like shoegaze, this kind of indie music does. And some of this Gen X, Gen Z people, they are so selfish. They are so, it's irritating. Did it one time a couple years ago. Well, it was when I was pregnant with my youngest. I have a cousin that came back from Afghanistan. I have a very military family, and took him to a show that was, you know, kind of indie. And I had this chick that kept bumping into me and stepping on me, bumping into me in the back of me. I turned around and grabbed her and said, look, don't do that, I'm pregnant. And she kind of got shocked. Same kind of thing was happening at that show. It's like, dude, give me the space. I have a cane. Do you see the brace? It's just, some of that you have to be aware of when you have ALS. There were older people there. There's just the young ones that are interesting. But that was being able to see my son, my nephew and his girlfriend. She's so sweet. They're just a really cute couple. I love him and I like her. I don't know her as well, so it's going to take some time. But it was just a wonderful experience to share that memory with them. And of course I took pictures. I'm the embarrassing aunt, right? I love being the aunt that'll go to an indie show with you. But that was nice. So I'll have all of the nieces and nephews here after our best friend-in-law comes in and we go to Duran Duran. So that'll be interesting. Still trying today, you know, Sunday we went, and my in-laws, brother and sister-in-law are going out. They're at the river now. So my sister-in-law is a pet lover, and she rescued a cat that had kittens, just a little cat. I mean, she's just a little cat, you know, young cat. And she had babies, and it was raining really bad a couple weeks ago. So she saved them, and the babies are now walking. So she didn't want to leave them alone in the house, you know, for a week. So we are cat sitting, and it's lovely. You know, my little one is playing with the kittens, and, you know, they're cute. I just love kittens. But I have the concern. she wants one. And these kittens I'm the auntie to these kittens. They're going back, you know, let them decide what they do with it. Trying to familiarize the mama cat and just giving her space. I put a little pillow with a fuzzy thing and some blankets in there so that she's comfortable in her thing, and covered it up like a cave. But she's using a litter box, which is good, and she's eating. Good mama. She's a good mama. And the kittens are just at that, where they're, and my daughter is laughing so much. It's just a really bright thing, you know, kittens. So I've been to a bunch of concerts. I've been really busy, and this is powered probably by love and being on this clinical trial. I can't imagine I could do that a month ago. I wouldn't be able to. You know, doing some things like going to the testify at the Texas Senate, I was so spastic for days after that. So I am spastic. I took today to rest. I only sanded a little bit and painted just a small bit. Did some wall repairs, you know. When they tore everything out, they gouged some of the walls, so I had to do that. And it looks okay. Yay. Just trying to do that. So trying to teach my daughter how to take care of the cat boxes, because I will lose that ability. But, you know, she has to show me that she can take care of a kitten, because I can't take any more pets on. I mean, you know, that's something. You know, Gil Garcia is one of the people with ALS that is, you know, one of the outreach people. He gave a video on the MLA, and he is in a chair using the eye gaze, power chair using the eye gaze technology. And he's just amazing. You know, the force of people that have ALS, you know, it's like it doesn't take the weak, it takes the very strong. And, you know, just thinking, you know, when you see people that are more advanced, you know, it's kind of the knowledge. You know, I'm lucky that I'm almost 4 years into symptoms of ALS. My anniversary initial diagnosis, or presumed diagnosis, was August 23rd of 2019. Confirmed diagnosis was October 4th of 2019. I started having symptoms at the end of May of 2019 that I recognized from seeing family members that, oh my God, this could be ALS. Diagnosed with motor deficits, and then got the diagnosis. So to still be able to walk, though I can't walk as far. I can't, you know, I can jump, but I can't jump very long. I'm scared of stairs. You know, I can navigate them slowly, but it's more difficult going down than it is going up. You know, I did almost fall at the Dave Matthews concert going upstairs. So I'm trying to be cognizant of having ADA compliant areas and being careful of that, because the worst thing you can do with ALS is have a fall. It can cause progression. So that's what's going on. I mean, hey. I'm so blessed to be able to do this. I am so blessed. You know, I have so much gratitude of it, you know. I can get over the irritation of millennials and Gen Z. Self-centeredness is just not the thing. But really nice, you know, still holding the meditations. I've got to record a video to get another certificate, and I'll do that. Just nice to have family. I mean, just family and friends and being able to be present. That is the greatest gift. You know, it's like when you have something that can take you. You know, I have my passion with helping prevent gun violence. Not political. It's, you know, I'm not a political person. You know, it's like, you're not going to change anyone's idea, so why do it? You know, it's, you know, I just wish we could find more common ground with things. I don't know. I mean, you know, I've had great highs and some lows, you know, paying taxes. But, bills paid, that's lovely. having a kitchen redo. It's like, let's do it slowly, piece by piece. Still focused on getting the house in a way that my daughter can grow up. And as I lose ability, she still has the house in a way that she can grow up in. You know, she graduated 5th grade. So she's graduated. She has a certificate that she graduated elementary school. So we had a coconut cake. It's like a little graduation present for her, Roblox card, how these, her generation, I want Roblox cards, I want these cards, I want, all the different little games. It's like, don't you want something that you can hold? So got her in volleyball. So this week she has 2 days of practice, and then she'll start games next week. Of course, I ordered the white socks, and she needs black socks. It's, I have a half a mind getting some RIT dye and dyeing some socks black. But that'll be fun. And pick up the best friend-in-law at the airport. And it's always so lovely to have time with her. It's like when our times are finite, we don't know how long we have. And friends and family, family that you get along with. And of course, sometimes, time goes by and you realize, people are important, whether it's mending a relationship. And some can't be mended, and that's okay too. But it's wonderful, I'm still doing counseling, which I think if you have ALS, that's a good idea to do. If you have trauma history, that's a good idea to do too. I know that doing some of my advocacy for gun violence being a survivor does bring up emotions for me. So, it's a healthy thing. The ALS Association had emailed a study saying that a lot of people with ALS deal with, there's going to be grief of the future that you thought you'd have is you're not going to have, but may struggle with some depression and anxiety. And having support, caregivers go through a lot too. They call them CALS, caregivers of ALS, and PALS is people with ALS. But, it's just when you have any major chronic disease or terminal disease, if you're having a hard time processing it, talk to your doctor. I know that counseling can be expensive, insurance that, but you can always call 211 and ask if you're in the States and find local resources, or you can find low-cost therapy. Some have it on sliding scales. So always a thought. Life is good. There's some stresses, I think, they don't talk about how expensive ALS is, There's other medications I'm on. I'm trying to contact Social Security to get additional help. We'll see if that works. If they don't, I know I have a other patient assistance program called Simple Fill that told me how much a medication would be if Social Security denies me. So in that process, keep every document. It is always an advocate. You have to be an advocate for yourself. And it's hard. It is. I think that we get into some times where we get uncertain. You can get stuck. You can have times where you just feel overwhelmed, and that's okay. You can sit with your emotions and discomfort, and that's okay too. I'm just thankful that the grief I've had over the past year is kind of receding. Memorial Day always comes up, and I still miss my dad. My dad was a veteran. So I've had kind of a bittersweet time, but it's been really, really busy, and I'm thankful I've been present. I'm just gonna keep on the glow and enjoy family while I have it. In July, I'll be going to South Dakota to a family reunion, and we'll see how I do with that. Airports give me trouble, so I've progressed a small amount more, so it'll be interesting to see. Since last year, I haven't flown since last year, so we'll see how I do with flying to South Dakota and seeing some family. Talked about going to like a ghost town there, and there's a gold mine. So I don't know the slippery things with that, if I can go down it. But I'm sure I could pan. Probably have hand spasms afterwards, but might be worth it. Hey, grab some gold. Well, thank you for listening to my little chant. And, well, I didn't chant, ooh, mani padme hum. But I have been so grateful to all of you that have watched my videos, liked and subscribed, made comments. This can be a lonely disease. There's not as many of us around, and on the normal, you don't get out as much. I know that when I progress, I don't know if we can afford a ADA power chair vehicle. So I know that to be able to go out and enjoy people is a gift. So I am thankful that even through the pandemic, even through times when I haven't been able to get out, I feel like I've, been able to share my story and with you guys, and my, talk about my ALS and the emotional side of it. And I really appreciate guys being here and watching this video. So I hope you have a wonderful time. Please take care of yourself and enjoy this summer season. Stay cool, drink enough fluids, take care of yourself. Find whatever you can to find a little joy. It comes and it goes, but savor the moments. There's good parts of life, and that's always a good thing to remember. So stable right now, thankful, very, very grateful. All right, you guys, take care, bye. Oh, I'm gonna put some more videos, or I don't know if I took that many of songs and whether I get copyrighted, but I'll put a little bit of pictures of what I've been up to after this part. All right, take care. Bye. Lou Gehrig's historic streak of playing in 2,130 consecutive games was halted following a diagnosis for a disease that would later be known as amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, ending the career of the iconic Iron Horse. Commonly referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS has deeply affected many in the baseball family, inspiring the creation of Lou Gehrig Day, a movement to raise necessary awareness and resources to find treatments and cures. We continue to support the fighters and their loved ones impacted by ALS. We also honor the heroes in our communities who, through volunteerism, activism, and scientific research, work together every day toward a breakthrough, in tribute to the enduring legacies of Lou Gehrig and all those lost by this devastating disease.
Renowned neurologist Dr. Stanley H. Abell founded the FDA and ALS Research and Clinical Center at Houston Methodist over 40 years ago. It's the first multidisciplinary treatment program for ALS patients in the country, providing a lifeline and hope for patients and their families on their journeys through this deadly neurodegenerative disease. As leaders in ALS research, Houston Methodist continues to focus on developing new insights and therapies that suppress neuroinflammation and the immune and inflammatory alterations that drive ALS and other neurodegenerative diseases. Now, we send it down to the field, where we're very happy to be joined by Dr. Stanley Abell, the director of the John W. Marshall Center for Cellular Therapeutics, and Dr. Eric Gehrig, the Sumner Family Distinguished Chair in Neuromuscular Research at the Stanley H. Abell Department of Neurology. To thank Dr. Erica Green for her hard work and dedication to all of our ALS patients, their families, and Houston Methodist, Dr. Abell would like to present a token of appreciation from Houston Methodist and the Houston Astros. Thanks for all that you do, Dr. Erica Green.